Hey, how are you guys? It's Roxanne Drake with Light for the World. I hope you guys are well today and you have on the full armor and you're standing strong. So, I was watching some of the headlines and I couldn't help but get on here and talk about some of the top headlines I feel reflect, prophetic fulfillment from the Bible and from the book of Revelations regarding the end times. So the first headline is about massive chunks of ice that crashed through the roof of a Diamond Bar family's home. I believe this happened like either today, Saturday, December 10th, or yesterday. And they're reporting that these huge chunks of ice fell through their roof and there was ice outside in their yards and everything. I don't see any report of what happened with other neighbors around them, but they mentioned huge chunks of ice. I'll play a little bit here.
In the attic, the family ran outside and saw.
So what is going on, you guys? You see all that ice. I'm not sure, but it reminds me of the scripture in the book of Revelations where it says that ice, the weight of talents, fell on people and they became angry with God. For this quick video here, I'm just going to be pulling scriptures from memory, and maybe when I get done, I'll write the scriptures below in the description box, but I'm going to be trying to go from memory. So yeah, there's a scripture in Revelation about huge bits of ice and hailstones falling on people in the last days. So I'm looking at this, I'm like, wow, guys, I don't know where this is coming from. We all see the weather is just totally out of control. Okay, let's go to the second headline. The Jewish Messiah is here and doing miracles. This is actually the title of a video that someone did on YouTube, but I don't know if you're up to date with it, but there is a man in Israel right now that thousands of people are following around, and they're saying he's doing miracles and everything, and I don't know, they may be announcing him as the Messiah. I don't know, but this has been in the news, and this reminds me of a couple of scriptures. Jesus said in the Gospels that in the last days, many would come in his name saying they are the Christ, or they are the Messiah, and they would perform great signs and miracles and fool many. So many would come in his name. I think about that scripture, and then of course, the fulfillment of the scripture in Daniel where it says that during the last days, someone would seat themselves in the temple and defile the temple. Someone proclaiming themselves to be God, sitting in the temple, defiling the temple. So that's headline number 2. Headline number 3 that was recorded a couple of days ago on Mr. MBB 333 is where he interviews a lady that actually captured some images of something in the sky near the moon, she said. And she said it was a little bit bigger than the moon, about the size of the moon, but it was dark and it was kind of eerie to look at it. And her 3 kids, she called her husband and 3 kids out, and they all saw it. And she even describes it as maybe looking like the Death Star. So whatever. So the scriptures I'm reminded of are the ones where it says there will be signs in the heavens. There's even a scripture, where is it, in the book of Isaiah, where it says something about a destroyer would be fashioned to destroy, but in those days no weapon formed against you would prosper. Now, I'm just kind of pulling that out of my hat here, because some people have talked about something called a destroyer or Nibiru, Planet X, I don't know, a second moon. I don't know which one it is, but this is prophecy coming to pass. And we know the atmosphere and the skies are not normal these days. You see all the ridge patterns, all the crazy weather, volcanoes erupting, earthquakes. We don't know what's really affecting the earth so much, maybe from the skies. Okay, so the next headline is about central bank digital currency that's coming out recently. It's called CBDC. And basically it's digital currency, and it has a programmable aspect. And the reason that this is so prophetic is they're talking about releasing one world CBDC bank currency that everybody could use. And this currency is digital, one that everyone could use, and it's programmable. So let me just read you a sentence about the programmability of this central bank digital currency, and you'll see how it fits into end times prophecy. Okay, so here we go. Programmable money versus programmable payments. Programmable money is money with inbuilt rules and that comes with constraints for the user. With these rules, money could also be programmed to have an expiration date or be restricted for certain goods, for example. Okay, so that's an idea. That's something they're talking about with the CBDC. So in other words, this money could be programmed to be given out to certain people if they fit certain constraints. If they don't fit those constraints, maybe the money would be cut off. We know about the scriptures in the book of Revelation where it says that no man could buy or sell without the mark of the beast. So that's how that could fit in. Okay, and I'm not saying that the mark of the beast isn't already around in one form or another. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that this seems to be another part of the part that has to do with buying and selling that could be controlled using digital methods. Okay, the fifth headline, of course, is pandemics. I'm sorry. This one is actually about heart attacks. And it says Schmidt Heart Institute study shows heart attack increase has been most prominent in young adults, especially those ages 25 to 44. New data at Cedars-Sinai found that deaths from heart attacks rose significantly during pandemic surges, including the COVID-19 Omicron surge. Let's see. COVID-19 surges linked to spike in heart attacks. So the reason I'm bringing this up as an end time sign is because it said, was it in one of the four Gospels? It said it would be men's hearts failing from what they see coming up on the face of the earth. So I'm not saying this is an exact fit, but there has been a rise in heart attacks and strokes. And there's been a problem with the injections that have been given out that has been causing problems with blood clots, heart attacks, and strokes. So I'm just wondering if that could be connected to this end time scripture about people's hearts failing. If people's hearts are being affected by what's being put into them or something, maybe they could give way easily. Okay, so the next headline that we're all aware of course, is pestilence. Pestilence all over the place. Here we go, Revelation 6:8. It says, So I looked and behold an ashen, pale greenish gray horse, and his rider's name was Death, and Hades was following with him, and they were given authority and power over a fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword and with famine and with plague, which is pestilence and disease. So we see a lot of pestilence and disease happening, of course. And the seventh headline that I want to cover is the Mandela effect. And if just in case you have never heard of it, the Mandela effect involves this idea where things in our world seem to have changed with no explanation. Physical things have changed, body parts, scriptures in the Bible, books, statues. You're going to need to look it up, Mandela effect, if you never heard of it. It's like literally, supernaturally, things that we remember being a certain way, many of them are not that way anymore. So I'm just going to pull up as an example of a Mandela effect Bible change. And once again, you're going to have to research this, but let me pull this up as an example. You can pull out your King James Version Bible that you've had on your shelf 25, 30 years. Look up Revelations, actually is the way I remember it, 1:13. Revelations 1:13. And read what it says. This Mandela effect is not only affecting things on the internet, it's affecting things in the real world. Things in the real world are being changed supernaturally. Okay, so let's read it. Revelations 1:13. You can get out your King James Bible off your shelf and read it. It says, "And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle." So first of all, that's not even a complete sentence, but check that out. Do you ever remember a description of Jesus as being girt about the paps? And I think if you look up paps, that's like breasts, like they use that in England, I think. With a golden girdle. With a girdle? Girdle is usually something that a woman wears, to hold her stomach in, like a pair of underwear or something. So anyway, this is just to talk about Mandela effects. There's been some alterations, I believe, and many people believe. Many people can testify to it. So you're going to have to research this. I'll see if I can leave some information below about that. So the scriptures that would go with the Mandela effect, of course, would be in Thessalonians. What is it, 2 Thessalonians? It says that the coming of the lawless one, or the coming of the son of perdition, would be with all kinds of workings or power from Satan, where all kinds of lying miracles, lying signs and wonders would be done.
Hey, okay. So what's this picture about?
Excuse me, it looks like my husband's on the phone.
Yeah.